Scooter Cannonball 2023. This is my steed. It's a 2010 Vespa GTS 300 Super. I guess we'll just go front to back as far as what I've done or what I have here. So it came with this little fly windscreen, and it works really well as far as wind buffeting. Is no problem. I changed the headlight to a LED. This is the Scooter West LED. The original headlight was kind of weak and yellowed from age. I've got the FACO front rack, which is holding my Rotopacks. You'll notice I'm not using the T-handle that I had before when this was on the Honda Trail. What I found is that in the sunshine, the can would heat up and swell, and it was really hard to get that T-handle off. So on my rack, I've just got a little piece of foam for padding, and then I've got these Violi straps that I have zip tied on so they won't fall from the ground. In the front, I've got a rechargeable LED bike light, and this thing will last for a couple hours, which is all I'll probably need, and it is super bright. And it's USB rechargeable, so I can charge it. I can unscrew it and take it off and charge it at night. Or I guess if I really had to, I could charge it on the bike as I ride. But you can see here, these Violi straps, pretty simple to set up. In fact, I'm doing, oops. I can just about do it with one hand. Okay, numbers. So I've got these magnetic race numbers. Excuse me, it's not a race. Magnetic entry numbers, and you know, Vespa's made of steel, so it sticks right on there. I don't know if those will last with the wind blowing around. So I have the 1 gallon up front of spare fuel. I have another liter inside this container right there, and then a second liter. Actually, these are not liters, these are 0.8 liter. But this one and the one up front I'll be using strategically. I have determined ahead of time places where I'll add those in to at a checkpoint to get me further down the road. The one that's in the center here is for emergency use. Hanging from the shopping cart hook is a backpack reservoir, which that'll be my drinking water throughout the day, which I will also have these things in there. Pedialyte powdered supplement, electrolyte powder. Love these things. Take them on every ride. Like I already mentioned, this is emergency fuel, and this is a dry bag that contains electric air compressor that will plug into the bike, and also a large battery bank that can be used to jump start a bike. On the knee pad here, I've got a 2-port USB 3.0 charger and a SAE port. And the SAE port can be used, well, I could put a battery tender up to it, but also it is the connection point for the air compressor. And also I have a second backup dual USB charger that can go into there, which will run into my tank bag through this little hole on the side here, if I decide I want to charge more than 2 things at a time. Speaking of charging, on the dashboard here, you'll notice I've got 2 RAM mounts on the side and a new quad lock, which I just got. And the idea is 3 phones for 3 different purposes. So this is my actual phone with telecommunication and a cell plan. I might use it for turn-by-turn navigation, but more than likely it will be well, it's going to be my phone for Cannonball app So there's a Cannonball app that you use for checking in and taking your check-in photos. So that'll be this phone, and that's my contact to the outside world. If I can get used to snapping it on this thing. Let's see, how does that go? And then these phones here, the one on the left, these are older phones that don't have cell plans. They're just old phones I still have. The one on the left will be my Rally trip meter. I'll talk about that in a minute. And then the one on the right will be Gaia, which is my main GPS, where I have the official tracks loaded in, as well as some custom track overrides that I have mapped out. And I've got waypoints marked and everything. And then in this center handlebar bag, there's a plastic window for maps or whatever. That's going to have basically my route book for each day. I'll have a printout that'll be all of my stops and the mileage in between each, and any notes I have as far as refueling instructions. And basically the trip meter here, I will be resetting as I go from stage to stage, so that I will know, just to keep track of where I'm at throughout the day. I have the SIP gauge. It was installed by the prior owner of this scooter. I'll be using the true trip meters on this. Trip A will be my daily miles, and trip B will be the overall Cannonball. I've got a little ratchet contraption here that will pull my drinking hose back in. This ram mount will be for 360 camera and or the regular GoPro camera. And I've got the quick release from, I think Ulanzi makes these. And I've got the Vans grips that I installed. They're super cool. And I do have in the glove box a simple mechanical cruise control that clamps on the grip and holds the throttle open against the brake. That'll be useful for sure. On the seat, it came with this, the prior owner installed this old 3D air mesh, which is very comfortable, and I don't think I need any more padding than this. I think that's good to go. I originally had the old classic milk crate on the back, and I changed that up, and now I'm going with this GV top box. And this Moscow bag is the Stinger 8, and this is all my clothes that I'm taking, which is basically just a couple changes of underwear, t-shirts, socks, toiletries. Because I'm shipping the bike, I have some extra things in here that I just don't want to take on the plane. So I've got my riding shoes, which these are high top kind of casual shoes, but they have armored ankles and toes. So I don't want to wear the big adventure boots on this trip. And then I have my riding jeans. So rather than, again, I'm not going to wear the big puffy snowmobile looking adventure clothes. I've got riding jeans that have armored knees and hips, and just are way more comfortable to wear. And then these are the toe straps. They're called Canyon Dancer, and because there's no real handlebars to put a strap on a Vespa, these cups just kind of go over the ends of the handlebars and give you mounting points for towing. So I have those in there in case I need to be towed, but also at the very end of the trip, my wife's going to come in our pickup truck and pick me up, and I'll load it in the truck with that. If anybody's curious how these GV top boxes work, so there's one key. It's called a mono key, and if the key's up, everything's locked, or well, it will be locked. To do any kind of operations, you turn it right, and then you can hit the button on the bottom to take the whole case off of the top rack, or you can either lock or unlock. Under the seat, so I've got the plastic seat cover, the rain cover, still it's tucked up in there. This is an old helmet bag that actually contains my rain gear, which is my new Moscow rain gear that's very bulky. So I've kind of got it in that bag to protect it and make it easy to bundle up. Down in the carrier here, I've got some, I'm not going to take it all out because it's all kind of stacked in there, but I've got rain booties that slip over the shoes for waterproof. I got a spare visor for my helmet. I've got a first aid kit. I've got my tool roll here, which I'm only carrying the tools I need to change a belt or to change to take wheels off. Adjustable wrench. I got a spare belt down in there. I got a tow rope, zip ties, spare filter, a little retractable funnel, a quart of oil, a digital tire pressure gauge, a bungee net. What else is down in there? Pair of gloves, of like latex gloves. I think that's pretty much it. And then I'm going to be taking a set of spare wheels already mounted with spare tires. Those are going to go on the support truck that I paid for. And then I'm also bringing along, I don't think I'll need it, but I'm bringing along to share, to use with others, my Rabaconda tire changer. And then inside this handlebar bag right now, it's got a bunch of snacks. So that'll be like snacks, and this is where I'll recharge electronics, things like that. One other thing, this little screen here is a Psychic tire pressure monitor. I've got tire pressure gauges on the valve stems, and they wirelessly display up here. The glove box, I've got an extra set of reader glasses. I've got the cruise control I mentioned. I've got a box of Band-Aids, some little carabiners. I've got my CO2 cartridges, which are in case the air compressor burns out. I've got this for backup for inflating tires, and there's a tube patch kit still in there for my other bikes. This is a little mini plug kit, tubeless plug kit. I've got some spare exhaust bushings, another little first aid kit, a spare LED turn signal, and some spare valve stems, and a SAE extension cable. Anyway, that's it. I'm number 272. When the event starts, I'll have a live link up where you can track my progress real time, along with all the other entrants.